Yeah. Another episode of Soul Cycle Alchemy.
That's right. Soul Cycle Alchemy.
Right.
Saturday
Mhm.
Night Live, baby.
Right. Lot of bullshit going on. Man.
Yeah, a lot of real shit going on too.
Yeah,
Bullshit and real shit. Fucked up
yeah,
shit.
yeah. The spirit is moving crazy though. The spirit is giving me so many synchronicities, giving me so many signs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm like, remember, when I was growing up, I was always connected to my higher spiritual self, right?
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
now it's off the motherfucking change, bro. This shit
I
is off the
feel you.
chain now.
Same here.
This shit is off the chain, bro. My clairvoyance is off the chain. My ability to basically tune in
Mm-hmm.
to the divinity is on a higher. Let's intensified now, man. It's all intensified.
I think it's intensifying for a lot of us now.
Yeah.
I think for all of us who are on the who who are on the path, I think great things are starting to unfold for us at this particular time.
I will say those who know they're on the path because everybody here is on a path. They just don't
Yeah.
know it yet.
Oh, okay.
They don't know it yet.
Okay. Well, those who
All
are
of
on
us
the
have
path and
all of us
and are in the know.
all of us have a sole purpose here.
Yeah. Well,
Islam, Yaz,
this is a
Yazid,
simulator.
Yazid, Islam, brother. Yazid.
Okay.
That's the brother I went to school with. I went to Dorsey
Hmm.
High with that brother.
Oh, you went to Dorsey?
Yeah, I went to Dorsey, bro.
Oh, okay.
Well, I went.
When you?
Well, let's go through. Let's be honest, man. I got kicked out of a lot of the schools, so I
Oh,
went. I went from Carson High to
mm-hmm.
Locke High. No,
Mm-hmm.
I went from Carson High to Banning to Locke. Then I went to Fremont,
Mm-hmm.
and then I end up going to Dorsey. So
Damn. Shit. You went all four corners of the damn city.
yeah, that's why I'm so well rounded about. You know what I'm saying? I'm well rounded about the city of Los Angeles, body politics about in the city and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I know from east side to west side,
Yeah. How the
and
shit is ran.
we've always lived from the east side to the west side. We've always moved around, and we lived from the east side to the west side to Carson to Compton, all these things, man. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
We moved around a lot.
Okay. Mm. I used to live up north and every weekend fly back down here and party and shit. So I was, man, my territories was from LA to San Francisco, San Jose, back to LA.
Right.
Yeah. Out
Well,
there they have that the black gorilla family.
Black Gorilla Family.
Yeah.
You talking about New York?
No, no.
Was that out here?
Oakland. Yeah, they're in
Oakland.
Oakland.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It was Oakland. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
think that's where they started because that's like a prison gang, ain't it?
Son. Man, that's they're the Crips of the North. They're the Crips and Bloods of the North, and then you
That's what
have
I'm saying. They're Crips and Bloods joined together. Like they like they're not they're all basically about black power, not necessarily division like
yeah,
that. Basically,
yeah,
especially in the prisons.
mm-hmm.
I heard you get beat up if you on that black blood Crip stuff when you the in
Black Gorilla family.
Black Gorilla Family.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so they're a whole different breed.
Right, no doubt.
Yeah.
But I've seen the necessity in prison because man, the essays outnumber the brothers in there.
Yeah.
And an essay, like a lot of when in the prisons, man. I've been never been. I can't speak from experience, but I've heard a lot of stories. But I've been in and out of the county before, so I've kind of had somewhat, even though the county and prison is two different things. I'm not trying to say I understand what they're coming from or nothing, but at the same time, I've seen a little bit of the politics in there. It's like a lot of brothers really are not down for the get down. You understand me? When it comes down to it, like, because they a lot of brothers are afraid to get stabbed by the essays, so they like, nah, I ain't trying to get out. You know what I'm saying? And I seen it when I went in there, when I went in the county, and I wanted to use one of the phones, and it can't just happened to be the essay phones, the Mexican phone or whatever. And the brothers like, don't use that phone because they gonna get on you about that. And I was like, nah, nigga, I gotta use the phone. If I gotta use the phone, let me use the motherfucking phone. Give a fuck about these politics y'all got going on in here. But they like, nah, that shit don't work like that. Nah, I'm like, it seemed like y'all scared of the essays, man. Y'all scared of the essays, man. And that
Yeah,
bite
they
me up because
outnumbered.
I was like, these motherfuckers come and stab me up. The brothers ain't finna back me up with this shit. So,
You know, it's a different type of brothers now.
oh yeah, you forgot to do the mantra.
Yeah. All right.
Well, we don't want to do nothing without that, man.
Uh-uh. Okay, here we go. Through the power, force, might, and will of the great no thingness of infinite beingness of infinite, endless, limitless, invisible light from which comes the absolute all that was, all that is, and all that is being and becoming realized into physical realization, actualization, and form as we all now will and commanded to be, is now being and becoming an active force of higher consciousness and an active force of infinite intelligence within us all now, being and becoming the great primordial dragon god sun kundalini flame. Now, whirling and ascending up our spine from our root chakra to our central heart chakra, on up to our royal crown chakra. Now, igniting our royal crown chakra, illuminating our first eye, our Lord Amenel Dragra, the hidden priestly grandmaster magi, the dragon god son king and queen, igniting the 72 chakras in our first eye, our 72 primordial dragon god sun kings and queens, and all of our legions of 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 armies 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 of armies. Now, being and becoming our own Grandmaster Mother, Dragon God Son, Light Beam, Mind Ship, Merkaba. Now, opening up a supermassive black hole, folding this time and space continuum, returning back to our original primordial beginning, returning back to our original primordial station and original primordial DNA blueprint before creation and humanity and before the fall of our primordial soul, renewing our dark matter, dark energy soul, reabsorbing our original primordial essences, reigniting the divine spark back to its original primordial charge, recharging our infinite soul and chakras back with the great mother, dragon god, the great mother, dragon god, goddess, queen. Being and becoming something brand new that's never been, being and becoming one with the absolute all that was, all that is, and all that is being and becoming realized into being now, as we all now will and commanded to be. Now, bringing all out war, judgment, death, and destruction to the multiverse created by the lower multi-dimensional archonic demiurge, angelic, and demonic energies that slayed our primordial souls before creation, using our primordial energy to create this light and energy extraction creation matrix, imprisoning our souls, keeping us ignorant to our true higher selves. So it can feed off of our light through this wicked worldly system until now, because now's the time of their fall as our new higher primordial dark matter, dark energy selves return back to creation from our primordial beginning, traveling through a supermassive black hole in our Grand Master Mother, Dragon God Son, Light Beam Mind Ship Merkaba, now ripping through and tearing a hole into this space-time continuum, circling all corners of the earth, awakening all of the holy divine sparks, awakening them all at once, all shedding their physical cocoons, being and becoming beings of dark matter, dark energy, emitting a new primordial light, now all ascending up into the Grand Master Mother, Dragon God Son, Light Beam Mind Ship Merkaba, along with the infinite soul of Mother Earth and all of her children, leaving an empty shell behind as we open up a supermassive black hole, folding out of this creation matrix as it is completely destroyed, as we are now all reunited back with the infinite all as one, now free to begin experiencing true divine love, being and becoming a new primordial universe where the earth is renewed into something beyond description, as our souls are now free to become our own worlds as kings and queens, exploring a new world never explored, a new universe and multiverse never explored, but in peace, love, and harmony until this day of Brahma has become the next night of Brahma. Through the power, force, might, and will of the great nothingness of infinite beingness, of infinite, endless, limitless, invisible light, from which comes the absolute all that was, all that is, and all that is being and becoming realized into physical realization, actualization, and form as we are now will and commanded to be. Abracadabra. Ashe.
Presto change it. Okay, yeah. Remember I was talking about they recently had some transparency meeting about UFOs,
Mm-hmm.
and it was basically centered around Homeland Security.
Yeah.
And they're basically trying to suppress the independent research that's going on about UFOs.
Mm-hmm.
And they're attempting to
Take
make it
control of the narrative.
criminalize anyone speaking on UFO research. Right? It's the same thing that they're doing with the COVID. Like they're
Mm-hmm.
basically criminalizing anyone who have any alternative views of the COVID. They're criminalizing you. They're restricting your speech. Really, they're trying to get rid of the right to speech. I mean, freedom of speech right now. They're an
Well,
attack. They're attacking the freedom of speech right now.
they're
They're
tagging the
literally
freedom.
they're attacking the freedom of speech right now. Well, they've been attacking it. They've been attacking it. Mind you, they've been attacking it, but now they're on a full court press right now, right? Because they're trying to say that the Buffalo shooting was the result of the dude who did the shooting, being radicalized on internet,
Yeah.
false
Yeah.
news, and they're trying to
Yeah.
push that narrative so that they can try to attack freedom of speech right now.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I saw right through that shit.
Right.
I
I mean,
mean,
all this stuff is really, really transparent and see through once you on your faculties, when you got your faculties together. But the vast majority of the people, they're
oh,
automatons. They're automatons.
yeah. First, they're going by their emotions,
Exactly. Yes.
and then they're gonna play on their emotions and just throw that shit in their face and show different people the 84-year-old black woman that got shot. They're gonna show you this guy, this person, this kid. Oh, they were so wonderful. They were wonderful human beings. I couldn't see how anyone could do such a thing, and throw that shit at you, and just get you all riled up. And now we want to take away all of your rights because of this. Sure, take them.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
if you don't let us take away your rights, this is going to happen to you every day. Give us your freedom and your rights, and you don't have to worry about this.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah, I mean, It
They put a lot of fear. They put a lot of fear in the public. They put a lot of destabilizing thoughts. Like people are not certain, and they really are confused. And that's where they want you to stay. They want you to stay in these states of being
it
because
was
this
long.
is how they use you. They
Yeah.
use you out of when you're fearful. They use you when you're confused. They use
Mhm.
you when you in all of these states of being that they're perpetuating in this whole system. They're perpetuating these states. They want you in fear. They want you in confusion. They want you in uncertainties. That's why they keep
Zero.
on talking about the food shortage, and they're causing these problems, and people are not connecting the dots and saying, "Oh yeah, y'all causing the problem." Well, there are people connecting the dots. That's why they're attacking free speech. And what happens is the connecting the people who are connecting the dots right now are
Yeah.
basically showing. I mean, it's really not rocket science to see that they're putting sanctions. Like one of the examples that I'm saying is they're putting sanctions on Russia for
Hmm.
their narrative about why they're going to war in Russia because the whole narrative is Russia is trying to
Expand their.
impede on Ukraine's sovereignty and their democratic government, right?
They're trying to bring
That's the
them
only
back
thing
in.
they done. They always try to push that. Oh, somebody's trying to threaten their democratic government. No one's
Yeah.
really doing the research on what democracy is, though.
Hmm.
Obviously, obviously, you're not doing the research on that because
Well, they're
they're
not
throwing
doing
around
the.
this word loosely as if it's like something that's in benefit of the people. Like democracy is not in the benefit of the people. Go ahead.
Well, shit, I forgot what I was going to say. They're just taking total control of the narrative on everything, on every aspect. But to me, they're running scared. They're running scared right now. They're
I agree. But this is why they have to. That's why they have to be on full court press up on all these angles, hitting you on, just continuing to keep us destabilized. That's
hmm
that's the only way they're gonna do it because the way we concentrate our powers is. Remember, have you seen? I know you've seen the Doctor Strange movie and
hmm
shit, and
hmm
he was able to use her power by mastering her fears. She had to master her own fears to what I'm
yeah,
saying. So,
yeah.
and this
Then
was a metaphor. That was a symbolic to us. Like we have to master ourselves to gain access to the higher aspects of ourselves. We have to master ourselves.
maybe that was a ritual telling America to wake up and take control of your fears and beat the
And
Scarlet Witch.
all the portals will open up. All the doors will open up. That was the
Yeah.
message. Her name was
hmm
America. Her name was America, though. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
America. Yeah, yeah,
You feel
and
me?
yeah, the poor Scarlet Witch, man. She just wanted to be with her babies again at whatever
You see
cost.
that? She
Yeah.
created a whole construct, a fake memory, a feeling, and she was addicted to that. I mean, I'm not addicted, attracted to her. You know what I'm saying? Like she couldn't get over, and she really
She,
never had children. That was the cold thing about it. She really never had children. She made it all up. She
oh,
created
she
a
made,
whole. Yeah, she made it all up. She created
damn.
this world. She created the world, but she got
Mm,
emotionally attached to it.
okay.
That was a message in there too. She created the world, and she got emotionally attached to her children. It was like, I can't live without my children. They're using the idea of a mother who is, what I'm saying, have the love of her children and shit.
Mm,
But she
yeah.
made it all up though.
Damn. Damn. That's oh shit. Ain't nothing worse than a mother bear protecting her children, but a deranged, insane mother bear protecting
Right, 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 right. Delusional.
protecting her illusionary children like they
Right,
were really real and
right.
killing everything in sight.
Well, that to me was a allegory, a metaphor for humanity. It's like we clinging on to these imaginary ideas, and they really not they're not yielding any results. You're not yielding any results. You keep on perpetuating someone else's construct, somebody else's reality that has really nothing to do with your best interest.
And well, first of all, you got to get out of your mind that you think you're in real reality. You're not. This isn't
Right,
real reality. This is a construct. This is in a simulation construct that is designed for souls to come. It's a school that is designed for souls to come to and get the lessons that they need to expand and become gods.
right. And the
Yeah.
lessons are internal. That's what it is. This is crazy because you are the student and the teacher.
Yeah. However, this classroom got taken over though. Some people or group of beings came down here and did some shit that
Wow,
they weren't supposed to.
they're literally possessing us in order to control. Because the only way the reality that we're experiencing is a direct byproduct of our minds. I'm talking about the collective consciousness. So it
Mm-hmm,
has to be an infiltrating spirit in the in humanity. It's an infiltrated spirit in humanity
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
that that's persuading humanity to create a reality in in that interest, in the interest of that, in the interest of that being.
Yeah. So that means this being found a way to poison humanity and hypnotize them and get humanity to think in its favor of creating the world that it wants at humanity's
And
expense.
then what happens is it's convinced humanity that that's what they want.
And that's what they need. And that's all that
Exactly.
there is. And all
Right.
that.
So that's why it's so hard to get snap people out of it because they think they're working in their best interest. They think that most of the people out here think they're operating on under their own free will. No, it has been co-opted. Your will has been co-opted. You understand
Yeah.
me?
Yeah.
Your mind is not your own. Your
Your
mind
whole,
is not your own.
yeah. It's been hijacked.
It's been hijacked.
Yeah. Been
You
hacked.
feel me?
Yeah.
We have totally went against reverse nature, bro. We have reversed our nature in the society.
Yeah. And as long as we're in that frame mind, that makes us very dangerous because ain't nothing good coming for us in that mindset. Nothing good.
Right.
Yeah. This,
I,
I
I
mean,
think that mindset, we're vibrating at such a low level, we're undetectable by divinity at that point.
yeah, but
Divine
if we're
signals,
really,
we can't tune into divine signal, and the divine can't really it can't even pick us up really. So this is why we getting the treatment we're getting because we have to have that divine connection with our higher self, which is divinity. Your higher self is your divine self. You have a divine self and you have a human self, right? And
Mhm.
that's the thing people have to realize. You have a divine self and you have a human self. In more science, we call it the lower self and the higher self. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. So that's what my I was trying to get the point I was trying to make in my mantra is using the working on the higher self, the primordial self, or going back to the primordial to re-energize and recharge that higher self, that divine spark.
But
So
when you don't even resonate, because like they've totally turned us. That's what I mean by whatever spirit have infected us
mhm.
has convinced us that what we're doing is in our interest. So we have totally shunned we have shunned everything that's in our best interest. We shun it. We don't deal with it. You understand me? We don't deal
Yeah.
with it.
Oh, yeah. I remember I was that way. That's the way I thought when I was on drugs.
Right.
I didn't
So I'm
really.
asking a question. Do you know you talk about interest rates all the time, right? Like how they're
Hmm.
raising or lowering, raising how it fluctuates, right? Do you
Yeah,
know? Do you know who controls that?
yeah, the central banks and the central. Well, there are a number. Well, it depends on which type of rates you're talking about, because there's the short end of the yield curve and there's the long end of the yield curve. Okay. The
Right.
long end of the yield curve consists of the 10-year notes, 20-year bonds, and the 30-year treasury bonds. And that's controlled by the market. Okay. The Fed don't really control that, the long-term interest rate.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you a question now. So
Hmm.
the market is totally autonomous. It has no governing body. That there is no manipulating the market. There is manipulating the market though.
Yeah,
So
there is manipulation.
okay,
The
so that's
Fed,
what I'm saying. You saying as if the market is totally autonomous, like it doesn't have.
no, well, I'm saying that the Fed, there's two ends of the yield curve, interest rate yield curve. You have the long end and the short end. Okay. The long
Okay,
end is controlled by the market. And the short
okay,
end of the yield curve is controlled by the Fed and the market. Because you have, on the short end, you have the Fed fund rate, which is what the Fed control, which is what they can hike and short, cut. And then you have the LIBOR rate, or the euro dollars, which are the US dollars on deposits in banks overseas that, everyone have to use. They have to tap into that account to do business, because everything is, because the dollar is the world reserve currency. Okay, so the long end of the yield curve can dictate to the Fed, which is what it did. The long end of the yield curve has already broke everything down. It's already did its job. Now it's on its way back down. The long end of the yield curve is going down now, and that means bond prices are going to go through the roof as everything else is going down.
well, okay. The
But
specific the specific committee that is in charge of what you're talking about in the Fed. They're federal. They're federal. It's still the
yeah,
Federal
the
Reserve,
president,
but it's
yeah, they have
also
a board of governors.
it's actually called the Federal Open Market Committee,
Yeah, the FOMC.
right? And the Federal
Hmm.
Open Market Committee is the Fed's monetary policy making body. It is responsible for formation of a policy designated to promote stability, prices, and economic growth. Simply put, the FOMC manages the nation's money supply.
Yeah, okay, yeah, but see that, okay, that describing who they are, but I know what they do. I know how they act. Okay,
No,
and
no,
I
no,
can
no.
tell you.
No, I'm not. I'm not just about just reading that. That just adds on to what you're saying. Why?
Uh-huh.
Because the people, and I'm going into this because a lot of people are not aware of certain nuances. Your finances are the economy of this system is so caught up in so many different bureaucracies, right? It's so deep in bureaucracy. If anyone wanted to actually figure out the system, you would have to go so deep. It's so many layers to the shit. You know what
Well,
I'm saying?
well, you have to follow the Fed, but see, they're like the judge and juror of the economy and the monetary system. And right now, the judge is putting the economy pretty much to death right now.
No, I
They
was
have
saying that I had predicted that years ago that it appears that they're purposely collapsing this government. They're
well, that's
purposely
another story.
are
But
collapsing are collapse not the government, but collapsing the economy.
well, they have to collapse the economy now because they made inflation. Inflation is at a 40-year high. And if they don't get in control of it, shit, that's gonna be the end of them. It's gonna be the end of them. There won't be no need for them, because if
Okay, so you
inflation,
saying once it inflated to the point where people is it's inflated to the point where it can't come back. Like you talking about where the debt ceiling comes
No,
in,
no,
where
I'm talking about inflation. That means prices skyrocketing to the moon. That means you go to the grocery store and you can't
okay,
afford to buy anything.
explain how inflation is connected to prices going up. How did that work?
Okay. In 1971, President Nixon took us off the gold standard. And by taking us off the gold standard, that gave the government the ability to print money cheap. Okay. While we were under the gold standard, the people had the power and the government didn't have the power to print money. Okay. We didn't have no major deficits or anything like that. But from 71 till now, the money supply has skyrocketed. Okay, they have printed trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. All right, so now there's so many dollars out there that the purchasing power of those dollars are pretty much diluted.
Yeah.
They do, even though right now the dollar is the most powerful fiat currency on the planet based on its intrinsic value, meaning if you invest in the dollar index, if you buy a call option, if you'd have bought a call option on the dollar index last December, by now you would have made a lot of fucking money because the dollar has done nothing but gone straight up. But the purchasing power of the dollar is gone straight down, and it's going to continue to go down. So right now, with the way the government tax you, there's two ways the government can tax you: either through taxing your income, or they can tax you through inflation. All right. So
that's considered interest, right? They're taxing you based on interest, right?
No. They expand the money supply and reduce the purchasing power of the currency because the government borrowed all this money
Right.
and our ass is collateral for that debt.
Yeah,
So we're either going to pay it.
It's called, the actual name is called co-surety.
Yeah, so we're either going to pay through higher taxes or we pay through higher prices, inflation. Right now we're being taxed through inflation. Yeah. They could either just tax the fuck out of us and inflation will go down because no one won't have any money.
This is a private organization that's not necessarily a part of the government. They're commissioned by the government. But they're not necessarily a part of the government.
No, yeah, because these banks are owned by very rich families that probably don't even live in this country.
Of course, they're internationals. They don't have no loyalty to America. That's why they don't really care about the economy collapsing.
And who's on the top? Who's at the top of all of this? The Black Pope and the Gray Pope.
Okay.
All those bankers, all those families, they answer to him. They take orders from him or them.
Right. You're talking about the Jesuit priest, the Jesuit.
Yeah.
The Jesuit order.
Yeah. A lot of people think
these people are Jewish and Catholic at the same time.
Yeah, there are a lot of things. Reptilian, all kind of shit. Who knows? And after the Black Pope, then you're dealing with off-world motherfuckers.
Oh yeah, and our interdimensional beings.
Yeah,
that invading, and like they talk about humanity's been invaded. We've been invaded shit hundreds of years ago, thousands of years probably.
Yeah, we was invaded from probably day one. Shit. There
Wow.
probably never was a time we weren't invaded.
Well, wow, yeah, right,
I think that maybe that was part of the assimilation that we're in.
right.
Yeah, I think someone just said, "Hey, let's add this to the program in this assimilation and see what happens." So
Right.
I heard one person say that at one point we were in higher dimension. This Earth was like in the fourth or fifth dimension, but some motherfuckers came down here and created some large hadron collider that collapsed the fourth dimension onto the third dimension. And so that caused souls to become trapped into the third dimension.
Right. Yeah, I've gotten channels like that before where it talks about how this is why just just by understanding science, physics, I came to the conclusion that all reality is nothing more than a projection of the third eye or the first eye, right? We're projecting reality through our consciousness.
The brain.
Yeah, through our consciousness, right? So as a result, anything that knows how to manipulate that consciousness,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying, can basically create, like we just talked about, create a reality set fit, because we're creating reality. We are
Yeah.
constantly creating this reality. So when you're
Yeah.
saying we going from one vibrational state to another vibrational state,
Yeah.
that's really what all it is. That fluctuation, you know what I'm saying, from one vibrational state to another state. And the earth is constantly going through these fluctuations. I think it's like every 25,000 years to 50,000 years,
Yeah.
we realize these fluctuations.
Well, this time Earth's supposed to be making a jump. We're sort of like semi already in the fourth dimension. I think we always been in the fourth dimension because I believe, like what I've learned, we've already collapsed into the fourth dimension.
Right.
So the key is the
Well,
Earth.
we entered into the fourth dimension like in the 70s. Because you remember that group, the third dimension or the fourth dimension, what's it
The
called?
fifth dimension.
The fifth
Fifth
dimension,
dimension. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They talking about the age of Aquarius
Eight
and things of that
words.
nature.
Yes.
And they was right on point about the actual cycle, how when we enter into a certain cycle, I mean certain aspects of that cycle of the cycle, then we're going to vibrate and it's going to enter into a whole nother vibration. And
Hmm.
1970s, we like when as a matter of fact, that's crazy because I look at how much stuff happened in the 1974, right? A lot of stuff
1974.
happened in 1974, the year I was born.
Mm.
A lot of stuff happened in 1974.
Oh, okay.
That was like you can go back that far back and kind of trace back what's going on now from that you can go farther back than that. But what I'm saying is 1974 was a key year.
Okay. Well, I came here in '65 during the watch ride.
That was a key year too, though.
Yep.
Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah.
because nigga 65 was the basically like the winding down of the civil rights movement. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And there was like so much debate going on between people who said we need to, you know what I'm saying, free ourselves independent. Well, it was a gang of different. What we see today as the conscious movement kind of started there.
Yeah.
What we see today
Yeah.
and started in the 60s.
Hmm.
You can see a lot of those ideas either evolved and became something different, or they are still perpetuating some of those same ideas today.
Mm. This, oh man, I heard some crazy shit about Charles Manson.
Okay, what did you hear about
Charles
that?
Charles Manson was trained by the same person who trained what's that? Who's that guy that started that church and took all those people to Guyana and gave them that special Kool-Aid?
You talking about Jim Jones?
Yeah, Jim Jones. Yeah, Jim Jones and Charles Manson. They had the same teachers, and what they wanted to do with Charles Manson, they wanted him to start a race war.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they wanted him to use some, get an army, but get some low class white people and go out there and do some shit and cause a race war. But he did the opposite. He went and got some high class white people, and they was robbing banks and shit. And he was exposing shit. He was exposing everything that they were going to do, and they locked his ass up. They did
Right.
some, and that. Those killing that all that killing that went down, he didn't do that. That was the
Wow,
government.
wow. I thought also you remember he had some female accomplices too. Remember?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they probably was MK Ultra too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they were all MK Ultra. Yeah, and the same people that went to Manson went to the Black Panthers and did the same thing with them too.
Man, it's crazy how see we sleep on these intelligent groups, man. These intelligent, they are in every facet of society, and this is why the only solution is tap into your higher spirit.
Yeah,
Right?
because
This
if
is the
you
only
tap into
solution.
anything earthly, any type of earthly organization can be infiltrated and debunked.
Right. But what happens is these intelligent organizations, these intelligent agencies, they are infiltrating every aspect of society, bro. They're from subcultures to
Hmm.
subcultures. They got fucking agents in every aspect of that shit, bro. They got agents, and if they don't got an agent there, they're going to, you know what I'm saying? They it's an intelligent organization, so that's
They
all
got
they
some
do
minimum.
is. And no, this is what people don't realize is that the point of intelligence, right, is counterintelligence. The
Hmm.
point of intelligence is counterintelligence. If you get what I just said?
The point of intelligence is counterintelligence.
Yes.
So
So what
what do you
what
the
I'm what
point
I'm
you're
saying
making?
is what I'm saying is they're manipulating or they're orchestrating the narrative through putting pieces on the chessboard. They're putting pieces on the chessboard to manipulate the whole narrative.
They're
Like
put they're replacing one of your men and putting one of their men there.
exactly. So now they can actually control certain aspects of how things turn out. Like what they was doing with the Panthers. You mentioned the Panthers. They
Hmm.
was basically engaging in what they called clandestine operations where they would instigate beefs. They
Hmm.
would instigate beefs, right?
Hmm.
And they would actually put out papers. They would put out false Black Panthers papers to even push the idea of
Ooh,
you're
oh, they don't. Some static came and you left for a minute.
somebody was trying to call me just now, so that's what happened.
Oh, oh, okay.
All I don't know why they know I'm broadcasting, but whatever. What I was saying is,
That's demiurge shit.
huh?
That's that demiurge shit. Where if we're getting close to cracking down some good information, they always going to throw something in there to break the fucking energy.
Right. Attempt to. They can't break it.
Yeah.
What
Might try to
happens?
pick it up.
Like okay, going back to what I was saying by the point of intelligence is counterintelligence. Is because they want to be in the front of anything that could be called deemed intelligence. They want to be in front of it, right?
Okay.
Meaning they either want to know it and suppress it. They either want to know it already and suppress it, have it for themselves, hoard it. They're not. This is what I'm saying. They're not only hoarding information or knowledge, right? They're making sure certain knowledge doesn't come out the way until they put a filter on it.
Yeah.
Until they put a filter on it, and they actually like they were talking about that when they was talking about the just transparency meeting they supposed to be having because Congress passed legislation. I don't know exactly the legislation. I'm gonna come back. They passed legislation that they had to be transparent about these different you know what I'm saying, things going on as it pertains to aliens and shit. So this was supposed to be their first meeting of that, the transparency of that, right? But the point of the whole thing was trying to do what I just said, put certain things out there so the intelligence can be all fucking confusing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they put a little truth here, they'll surround it with a bunch of bullshit.
Yes, right.
Okay?
So once you dive into it, it's so layered with bullshit that you got to go through all the layers of bullshit before you can even get to the root of what's going on.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, they turned that shit into a labyrinth of bullshit.
A labyrinth. That's a good word for it. A labyrinth of bullshit. Right. And that's how I say about the feds, though. They're basically a bureaucracy within it's like a to me, that is the deep state. That's part of the deep state.
Yeah, that's the deep state.
The Fed is like part of the deep state. Even though they have a presence in the public, the feds or whatever, but I think because is the deep state based on the fact that people are not even aware.
But who's in? Okay, there's another bank, the Bank of International Settlement. Okay, they are the ones who mandated to the Fed that they are going to have to be very, very aggressive right now on taking control of inflation, because this inflation shit is out of control. And so if the Bank of International Settlement is telling them they got to do whatever the fuck it takes, no matter what, to get inflation under control, and if they listen to their master, then that means they're not going to give a fuck about the economy. The only thing they're going to give a fuck about is getting back in control of the balance between supply and demand.
Okay, so going back to interest rates, right? From what I've studied about interest and interest rates and things of that nature, right? You're using language that implies that there's a borrower and a someone who loans money and someone who borrowed money.
Yeah. Yeah, the Fed, their purpose is to be the both loaner and creditor.
Wouldn't that be conflict of interest, though? The whole, if you want to, when I'm looking at it, I'm like, damn, this is a very, you know what I'm saying, deep conflict of interest. How the feds operate itself is a
Yeah.
very deep conflict of interest that goes on because
Well, the
they're
central bank, they're just an arm that another entity use to get its will implemented on the world.
right.
So somebody is using the Fed to do its work. The Fed is
Also, that's a
working for
front. That's a
somebody.
front then. So it's the Fed is a front then.
Yeah. It looks like they're the end all be all, but they're not the end all be all. They are an instrument of something else, of
Oh, Have you ever
someone
heard?
else.
Have you ever heard of the Depository Trust Company?
No, I haven't heard of them.
Okay, founded in 1973, is a New York corporation that performs the function of a central securities depository as part of the U.S. National Market System (DTC). Annually settles transactions worth hundreds of trillions of dollars, process hundreds of millions of book entries, delivers and delivers and custodians custodies millions of dollars, millions of security issued worth tens of trillions of dollars.
So there's
Right,
something like the Bank of International Settlements,
right.
or
Okay, let's go. Let me read the rest of it though. It said custodians millions of security worth issues worth securities issued worth tens of trillions of dollars issued in the United States, over 100 other countries, and over 100 other countries since 1999. It has been a subsidiary of the Depository Trust and Clearance Corporation, a security holding company.
hmm. Oh, there's something.
The DTC is who they call, who they are.
Speaking of bank, 9/11. Um, this is what I heard. Some shit I heard. OPEC, they have trillions and trillions of their dollars in banks here in America. And OPEC was going, they were threatening to take their money out of American banks.
Mm.
And America said, well, the only way that they cannot take their money out of our banks is
Mm.
if we have a national emergency.
So say, let me get this right. So they said the only way they can take their money out is if there's an
No,
emergency.
no, if the only way they can't take their money out
Okay, he
is
said
if we have.
the only way they will ever be able to take their money out is if there's a national emergency.
No, the opposite. No, they can take their money out anytime they want. Okay, and if they do that, we ruin. Okay, that'll fuck us up economically. So to keep that from happening, we have to have any national emergency, and in a national emergency, all that shit is frozen.
But we're in a perpetual state of national emergency. You know that, right?
Well, the national emergency at that time was 9/11.
Well, there has been a national emergency set in place ever since the inception of the United States of America. And I think they've purposely done this so that they can have justification to do some of the things that they've been doing. Is
Oh, okay.
there
We're in a permanent.
when when
We're in a,
when have when has the United States not been in a state of national emergency? Name one point of history, a time it has not been a state of national emergency.
Ain't no such thing.
Ain't no such thing. It never existed. So as a
That doesn't
result,
come with the United States of America.
right? No, but
Yeah,
they can under certain executive orders because that's what that means. We're under executive order, not the Constitution anymore.
yeah.
Those who,
We're
I
under
mean, those who, yeah, executive orders, meaning
Mhm.
the executive office can basically be a dictator now.
Yeah, they can. Yeah, we're no longer a free, well, supposedly
Yeah.
free civil democratic country.
See, the thing about it is that democratic thing is an infiltration too from the original intent of the instrument we call the Constitution, which didn't originate with the European colonizers. Those concepts was adopted by them. They even told you by the Iroquois Confederation. They was adopted by the Iroquois. These were Moors. These were Moors that are untouchiness to the land. These are
Yeah,
Moors. These are Moorish people who are taunting the land, and the colonizers adopted what they call the great the great law the great law of peace or something like that, I think it's called. But this had been established on this land way before colonization, and they just
well,
adopted it. So when I look at how they are trying to attempt to usurp it in any type of way, there and it's the original state that we're in. What we're calling the Constitution, not the draft that they took, not the draft that they took the concepts and drafted that instrument called the United States Constitution, but the law itself, the laws, the principles,
mhm.
right? That's what we're talking about, not the instrument, because the instrument itself does not give you the rights. It just recognizes it. It
Mhm.
recognizes it.
Or
So
it announces it.
it announced that that entity is the entity that government and body is adopting these principles. That's what it's doing. That's all the United States Constitution actually says. It's doing. It's announcing that they're adhering to the law of the land. They're adhering to the law of the land.
Well,
Supposedly, on a
well,
on a colorable meaning the perception of it or the appearance of it.
well, well. Not anymore. We're in like you say, executive order now. Executive Order 666.
Hold on. Here,
Yeah, you're back.
yeah. But what I was saying is, yeah, I'm back. Somebody calling me again. I had to answer it this time so I can tell them to stop calling me.
Mm.
So yeah, where was we at?
Oh, we were about um god damn.
We was all over the place. But
Yeah, we were all
uh,
over the place.
anyway, what I was saying about the feds,
And we was
picking up
also
the
talking the Constitution, how we've gone from the Constitution, constitutional law, and into executive order of law, dictatorship law
well,
under
let me say it like this, bro.
executive
It's like
order.
you saying like we have, because this is not agreed upon by the general masses of people. So you can't necessarily say, and it's because we don't speak out against it that you use the word we in that context. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying? You
well,
can use the
we're
word. The word we is in the context of we're inactive in our own political interests. So they're supposedly
assuming.
elected in positions. So that the election itself is basically their cosign from the general public, the election. So when mind you, the last two elections were the lowest turnout of voters ever. So the faith in the system is dwindling. So
Yeah.
people's faith in the system is dwindling. So now you're seeing how they're still utilizing the perception or the perceived idea that the American public are co-signing what they're doing. They're still going off of that, even though, like I said, the only indication of that is the voting, right? Because when people go voting, and guess what? Anyone who's pushing that go vote concept,
Hmm.
they are agents of
Oh,
that same system.
definitely.
Why? Why? Because vote your vote is your cosign for what they're doing. Now, why would we co-sign them inflating our economy to the point where we end up in a debt that's trillions of dollars, and we are responsible for that? Why would we give them the permission to do these things to us? It
Not
ain't
only
that.
that, but inflate and cause so much inflation until we can't even afford to live in our own country.
Exactly. We're not telling them to do this. This is like we're totally oblivious and naive, which is systematically done. They they are getting away with this because they dumbed us down. They
But the
we can't even
system does
connect the
not.
dots.
But the
We
system
can't
is
even
not
connect
just.
the dots at this level of how the intricacies of the system and shit.
Yeah, but the system is not only doing harm here; it's doing harm to the rest of the world too. We're exporting this shit to everybody else,
Well,
and
when
we're
you look at it,
strong arming them to go along with it. How long is
when
that
you
going to last?
right. When you look at it, it's like you have to look at America as being like this front for imperialistic and globalistic ideas being pushed, right?
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
front for
it's a front.
globalistic and imperialistic ideas that are
Hmm.
not necessarily. You got a number of other countries that have interest in it. It's China, Britain, all of the original colonized Spain,
Hmm.
France. You know what I'm
Western
saying? All of them are in
Western world.
cahoots.
Yeah,
All of these countries are in cahoots
yeah.
of they're
New,
investors basically in what we call the enterprise of America. There
which
is
is really the Tento, what's pretty much considered as the Tento kingdom in the book of Daniel, the Roman, the remnants of the Roman kingdom.
oh no, it ain't nothing but Rome. It's just Rome repackaged it and reinvented basically.
Rome never fell,
No, no, it didn't.
and
You're right.
and the Nazis never lost.
No, they didn't. Oh, not NASA, Nazi. Come on now.
Yeah, they sold us. They sold us on something else. They took us. They left us, put us way out there in left field, and put on a circus and kept us enchanted in that circus while they're in right field doing some other shit.
And they still doing it. They still doing it to this day. What did I just explain? Like They're doing so many sinister things across the globe in our name. This is how they're able to do it. They're doing it in our now under our name. They're saying that they're doing it in the interest of America. When they
Yeah.
saying that, they're talking about the indigenous people. They're talking about us, the dark
Yeah.
skinned ones, the dark skinned. We the Americans. Look up any definition of America in the older
Copper
dictionary of
color,
the 1500s. The copper skin
copper
people
skin
here.
color
Yeah,
people.
the copper skinned people here that was here when the year before the European got here. That would be the
Yeah.
definition. So when
Man,
they
I
saying
read.
America, they talking about us. They're taking our birthright. They're taking our credibility.
You know what? I've read stories of people that travel into inner Earth, and they gave description of the people, these giants, 6, 7 foot tall giants. They call them
Mm-hmm.
copper skin, copper colored skin people.
Mm,
Yep.
right.
Center of the Earth, Journey to the Center of the Earth, and then listen to that audio book. All they're talking about is copper skin colored people.
Mm.
Yeah, living amongst all these other different type of races, gorilla races, reptilian races, all kinds of shit.
You know what
I
I'm gonna
mean,
do for next week?
what?
Not to cut you off, not to cut your wisdom, brother. My bad.
Hmm.
But I'm gonna have some ways for people can call in.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna create a number next week where people
Let's see
can
what these
call in.
people are thinking. See what's on their mind, where they're at.
I mean, after what we said, I would like to see what others have to say after, because we goes in like on some other shit like connecting dots where I don't really see a lot of people connecting the dots, but I
I
wonder I
do.
wonder if other people are thinking this way too.
Oh, they're they're out there. I'm listening. Well, either that or the agents are out there posing as them.
I mean, a big portion of them are agents and bots, especially on the internet. I watch that I recommend. I watched this documentary. It's a short documentary too, so it ain't no long driven out thing. It's called
Hmm.
The Death of the Internet. It's called Death of the Internet.
Hmm.
And what it did was it exposed before Elon Musk did this whole
Twitter.
uh uh
Twitter.
Twitter deal, right? Where he
Yeah.
exposed Twitter as being a gang of fake motherfuckers. There was
Oh yeah.
there were documentaries. Yeah, there's a documentary that exposed this shit like years ago called "The Internet is Dead," and it talked about how
Oh.
the mass majority of people on the internet are nothing but bots.
Hmm.
You feel me? There's rarely, I mean, there's people, real people in there, but they're being like when you understand how the algorithm works, right? They can actually place people on top where you're gonna always see these particular bots come up before you see real people come up. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? So, and it was this one bot on it was a one bot on Facebook I seen. He had a Bay on his name, and I was like, and he was advocating. I forgot the exact name, but I took a screenshot of his profile and everything. So I wanted to make sure I let everybody know it's a bot, right?
Hmm.
And I know it's a bot because he was advocating for the vaccination, right?
A bank
Yeah,
advocating for the vaccine. Oh shit.
yeah. So I was like,
That's
wow. So
ooh,
I
rare.
did some further investigation. I went on his profile and I seen it was look like the typical bot profile too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So
Damn.
be aware, bro. Like they out there crazy. This is exactly why this whole Russia thing is going on because Russia has been conducting so many cyber wars, so much cyber wars that it's like now this is the action that America has to take by sanctioning and getting involved in in certain affairs that's on a whole other side of the planet. What the fuck does? And no, you see how it's tied into the not so-called American interest, but you can see how it's tied into people who are calling themselves American running for office. Like Biden is tied into Ukraine, crazy.
Mhm.
You remember how the Trump was trying to expose that early on, how his son was doing this business with Ukraine and all this stuff, and that
Well,
was
shit.
early on. They were trying to expose this.
Obama
Was
is the
doing business
kingpin. Obama
right.
is the head pin, the grand master motherfucker of all motherfuckers. Obama
Right.
was the one that set up the puppet government there. Obama was the one that took out Gaddafi. Obama was the one that went after Assad in Syria. Obama was dangerous.
Yeah, that. And what's so crazy about it is like the most charismatic ones are the most sinister ones. He was the most charismatic, and
And most
you would
love.
look at him and you would look how you would like he wouldn't be behind none of that. That's why people overlooked everything that he did. More brothers and sisters went in prison under his administration. More brothers and sisters were getting locked up under his administration. It was all bad for so-called black folks at that point.
Shit, under his administration, I had my downfall.
Right.
Shit, I flourished during them fucking white boy Republicans.
Right.
Yeah. Man, you can help but make money.
Right. Right. The Democrats today, the Democrats,
oh man, everything just went fucked up. Man, the markets got fucked up.
The Democrats' agenda is socialism and pushing this homosexual agenda, man. That's their only policy. That's the basis of their whole policy.
Hey, who painted the White House rainbow?
Obama, yeah. Damn. And to this day, you can tell people about all the atrocities Obama's responsible for, right? And his administration was responsible for. And they still gonna say, "Oh, Obama was the best president. He was the hard." I'm like, motherfucker, did you hear what I just said?
This is what I tell motherfuckers. I said, this is how fucked up Obama is, okay? He gonna come to you and say, "Hey man, what's up? Hey, you want to come to this party, man? Got chicks, got drugs, everything, alcohol, man. Hey, let me hook you up with this chick. Okay, here's y'all room and everything." And then after the party, he said, "My friend, I got my driver. He's gonna take you home." And then you get in the car. Obama get in the back seat and pulls out the gun with the silencer.
Right. You seen too much.
Yeah, you seen way too much.
Right.
While you in there talking, you're talking about how much fun you had, and he's laughing with you, and he pulls out his gun.
Right.
Yeah, you die talking about how much fun you have.
You know that somebody's public record could be erased, right?
Oh,
legally, like where if they've done something that they're ashamed of, or they don't really want to be public, they can legally get it erased to where now when it come up as, is it alleged or the fact? If you say it's a fact, you can be up for legal obligation, because it may have been a fact, but he got it legally expunged from the record, right? So now, I mean, you got to realize that most of these people have gotten that legally done. They have their history, they have their lived history legally expunged, and they can basically create a whole new. I think this is Obama. Obama is one of those persons that all these politicians, really, we don't know their true history. You gotta find to find a true history. You got to really be
Dig.
following their career when they was local celebrity. They were local politicians.
Yeah.
When they were local politicians, even then they could have got placed there. Like it's that deep, bro.
Mm-hmm.
They could have got placed there, like especially man, like we was talking about the 60s and 70s. Man, you know how many Manchurian candidates they placed in the general public, man.
Who knows, man? Who knows? If we really knew, if we really knew, we go crazy. We go crazy.
Man, at this point, most people I'm vetting everybody because what really got me on a whole nother thing is like when the gang member, because you know I live in LA, we live in LA, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm heavily uh attuned in to what's gang culture and shit, right?
Yeah.
What I'm hearing now today is about the gang prevention cats. The gang prevention cats, like, when I was coming up, the gang prevention cats are, what they said. It was self-explanatory. They were trying to prevent violence amongst gangs and shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Come to find out, they all work for the police.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
The gang prevention motherfuckers all work for the police, my nigga.
Oh
And
shit.
this is what the new this is they when we I figured that out years ago, but this is what these gang members are just figuring out now, right? And they don't
Mm-hmm.
understand. They don't understand how they're gradually trying to make snitching something that, I mean, amongst them, because I'm saying that's outlaw amongst the gang members, the gang culture revolutionaries too. The
Yeah.
revolutionaries don't go to police. What the fuck you going to the police for? We police ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what happens is the snitching culture has become more prevalent now to where snitches don't get stitches no more.
Snitches
Snitches do
don't get
not
what?
snitches do not get stitches no more. When I was coming up, snitches got stitches.
Oh, got stitches.
Yeah, they got their ass beat. They fucking they would have got the shit bit out of them, or
Yeah.
either damn near died. He
Yeah.
threatened to
Got whacked.
die. Got
Yeah. Got
whacked.
whacked. Yeah.
You feel that?
Now
You understand that?
they get witness protection now.
Man, they don't even need witness protection. It's not even. They can come, like, look at 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine still running around here doing the same shit he was doing before he snitched. He got
6ix9ine.
two body. I seen they caught him in public with one bodyguard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because at the end of the day, nobody finna get that boy. Ain't nobody about to get him. Come on now. Ain't nobody. We don't enforce the G code like that no more. Like that shit is, you know what I'm saying, passe amongst them. That boy is safe. He's not. He had nothing to worry about. I'm probably, 6ix9ine's 6ix9ine was the rapper that snitched on his whole crew. Basically, when they
Snitched
was on
on
the
his.
Rico, he snitched on his whole crew. And this is another phenomenon. These rappers are
Snitched
getting
on his crew
convicted under
about
the
what?
Rico, huh?
Snitched on his crew about what?
Well, they were all under a Rico charge as a
Rico.
gang. Rico charge. You know, Rico is racketeering. They're organized gang. It's
Oh.
basically a organized criminal gang, right?
Okay.
Rico Act. That's what they got the mafia under. The
Oh,
Rico Act.
and he ratted out his own crew.
Yes, he ratted out everybody. He's like he told him that's why he got his sentence reduced. Because if he wouldn't have snitched, he probably would have
Mm-hmm.
been locked up like the rest of his crew.
Oh, okay. So they dangled something in his face, and he took,
Right, his freedom.
yeah, his
They
freedom.
dangled his freedom in his face. Like, if you don't tell,
Mm-hmm.
your ass gonna be in here for some years.
He said, "Look, why do you have to be locked up like the rest of them, like an animal, when you can be free? All you got to do is just sing like a bird, and you walk
Right.
right out of here."
Right.
Yeah, you get to still
Right.
make your millions, and bang your party bitches, while these niggas in there be getting banged.
Ah, for real.
Yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
The prosecute you if it was a show. I forgot the name of that damn movie, man. Where it was the true story about the five dudes who got convicted of rape, and they had never the five children. They was like teenagers,
Mm-hmm.
and they harassed the young lady in the park, but
Mm-hmm.
they harassed her in the park, but they never raped her. But they
Mm-hmm.
all got convicted for raping her. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Come to find out years later that they were falsely accused and they were falsely prosecuted for rape. You know what I'm saying? They all got out of jail.
Yeah.
And what happened was the prosecuting office was doing their tricks. Their tricks. They would pin them against each other, even though all of them were innocent. Though this is what's crazy about it. Even though
Mm-hmm.
all of them were innocent, they were all convicted because they all basically were convinced that they were guilty, right? And they start turning
Yeah.
on each other. But they were all innocent though. This is how crafty the prosecuting office is, bro. This is crazy.
Yeah.
They
Yeah. They
convinced them.
consider
They
themselves that
convinced
they
them like
really did it.
they look. My thing is they try to pull that off on my son at one time, right?
Yeah.
Where they start making him give confessions up about, you know what I'm saying, something he never did and shit, right? They start
Mm-hmm.
trying to make him give confessions. And I was like, don't talk to nobody until I get there and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm your counselor. So you only speak to me. You don't speak to them. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how they
Mm-hmm.
gonna trap that's how you gonna trap your ass, make you incriminate your damn self, say some shit you ain't really actually did, and your ass end up most of a gang of brothers is locked up based on that right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, get you all scared. See, like you say, they want you to operate in fear, and once you operate in fear, they know you're gonna make decisions based off of fear, and you make decisions based off of fear, they all turn out bad, real bad.
But the thing about it is, if I know I'm innocent, I'm never going to come to incriminate myself to be what the fuck? That don't like what kind of spell they had up on these people? Like what the fuck was that?
Well, see, you're supposed to be doing your magic and your rituals to where you don't end up in that situation anyway.
No, you right about that because I do them
Yeah.
heavily. So
Yeah. Okay. You're not supposed to end up in that. The people that end up in those situations are either ones who do rituals but have to go and face the devil and beat him at his own game right in front of everybody, because that motherfucker that I'm talking about can't be beat by them, or um, it's motherfuckers that don't do rituals and just go out there with their asses completely all out, talking
exposed,
shit. Yeah, all exposed, and just you
right?
going, yeah, their ego and shit, thinking they are, their ego telling them, you the man, you the man, they can do shit to you, man. And that motherfucker, you find out that motherfucker's a lie, get their ass killed out there.
I
Get
think it's more of a deep inferiority complex that these people
Mhm.
have, and it's like because I even was a victim of the shit to the point where I bought into the stereotype about myself. I bought
And what
into
happened?
how this. I bought into the negative ideas society has about the false negative ideas. I was kind of buying into it myself. Like all of us suffer from that shit.
Hmm.
Somewhat, we kind of somewhat say maybe I ain't, or you feel me? Like it's like I always had this guilt conscious, right? Like whenever, even when I wasn't guilty, right? You feel me? I felt a sense of guilt.
Mm.
I don't know if you understand or relate, but even when I
No.
know I'm not guilty of something, I kind of feel like I'm a so-called, like I bought into the whole hate, the self-hate. I'm a black man. I may be. You feel me? So I bought
Uh,
into the shit. The inferiority is a deep inferiority complex, bro, where you buy into your own stereotypes.
No, me, I had it differently. Like I said, I was I was a commodities broker, so I was in there with them. I dealt with the prejudice comments, but I was able to talk shit back to them. And not only that, but also use my mind and my brain to to counter their shit too, because they try to make us look really bad. They try to make me look real bad in that industry. I worked for this company for 10 years and they did nothing but kept the brothers like me down. But after I left that company and I didn't have these motherfuckers talking shit to me no more, shit, man, I blew up. I blew up. Shit. And I started fucking eating them white boys up for dinner because I was learning how to learn on my own. And I threw everything that they taught me in the garbage because I know how they operated. They only existed like parasites. They sucked off of their clients. They were just filthy, man. They took people's money and just churned it and make commissions and just lie. And you didn't have to do that. And I told people the truth. I told people, I get them online. I show them the charts. I show them, the ups and downs, and they see it for themselves. And then once they see it for themselves and they understand it, then I got them. But these other motherfuckers, man, they just lie. And what was fucked up is that when the regulators came down on them, they got protected under the umbrella of another company, while my license was tainted because I worked at that company 5 years prior. Even though I was working at another company, my license got tainted and I ended up getting fired and suffering from something that they did that didn't have nothing to do with me at a time when all of my clients were making so much. I was making so much money for my clients, and I had to walk away from all that shit. And I signed this no contest clause with the company that I was with, to where I couldn't go back and touch any of my clients. Shit, you think I fucking honored that shit? Hell, fucking no. I went back and got almost all my clients and took them to another company and made money off of them, and went to another company, and they finally found me, and they tried to sue me, took me to arbitration, tried to sue me for a lot of money, for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I whooped their ass. They didn't get shit from me. I whooped their ass. And then I was gonna see, if I never got it tainted, I was gonna buy that company. I was gonna own their motherfucking ass and fire their ass and get rid of them and take control of it. But they got rid of me before I had a chance to do that. But now, man, this is what's happening right now, dude. Like I was telling you that when the interest rates were going up on the long end of the yield curve, that pretty much broke everything. That broke everything when those interest rates went sky high. And now that everything has been broken, they're coming down and they're going to zero on the long end. But the short end of the curve is going up. And there's going to be a lot of pain, man. A lot of pain. And right now, a lot of people are getting killed everywhere. Stocks, cryptocurrencies, man. A lot of these currencies. Remember, I was telling you, like what happened with when we had the .com boom, and then we had the .com bust. The same thing that happened then is happening now with these cryptos. Okay, a lot of those .coms went.
You right, but it appears to seem like it's mimicking the markets now, the crypto, where it's fluctuating in value.
No, it's going down. Bitcoin's 30,000. Okay, it's
I
down
know,
from
but
70.
I'm saying that would not be that will not be an indication to get rid of all your crypto though. I wouldn't get rid of all my crypto as a result.
No, well, some of those cryptos are going bye bye, just zero, delisted. And so when it all hits the bottom and all the dust is all settled, you're gonna see who's still left standing.
Well, some cryptos are more valuable than other cryptos.
Well, I don't know about that right now because they're all going down. I don't know about any cryptos. I don't hear about any cryptos that are not a part of the onslaught that's happening at this time. Okay. And based on the technicals that I see on the charts, Bitcoin ain't stopping until it's back down to like $3,500 again. And when it gets back down there, shit, I want to buy some of that shit then. And then when you see who's still left standing once we hit the bottom of this, those are going to be the ones you want to get because they're going to be the ones that are going to be leading in the future. But see, when people catches on, get caught up into shit in its beginning stages and get caught up in all the glamour of it, and it hasn't had its big ass whooping, you end up buying shit at the top of the market and just getting fucking whacked all the way down. I mean, I've seen this shit happen over and over and over and over. I saw it happening here. And I was trying to tell people, warning, that the central banks are not going to let this shit take over the world reserve currency. Okay. All right. That's just not going to happen. All right. They will try to come out with their own digitalized currency, and if that does happen, oh shit, we're all fucked because then they'll have absolute control over every aspect of our motherfucking lives. And they can cut it on, cut it off anytime they want. So fuck them on some digital centralized currency. So yeah, I see the value of having a cryptocurrency or something that is outside of this debt-based system. But we just have to get rid of the debt-based system. We have to get rid of this debt-based, the order that be something new is going to have to come out of the something new is going to have to come down. Something new, or there has to be a changing of the guards, and the old people are pushed out, and new people come in, and this shit is done through righteousness. Okay, and and we can start all over as a peaceful race and heal and not be divide and conquer and all that bullshit that we're under right now. These people have to go, and that has to be changed with a new changing of the guard so that we can start healing and everybody start coming together and we be as one, no matter what color, what race, what fuck religion you believe in, or whatever. We're all one, and we're all in this simulation, and it's just in a simulation, and we can ascend from this simulation and go to something higher than this, because our souls are not meant to be stuck in this third density. This third density is hell. And if you are like, your consciousness is just stuck on this shit, unstick it from this shit, because there's far more than this. This is as low as you can go. And if you're comfortable with this, then then you're comfortable with the ghetto of the cosmos. This is the ghetto of the cosmos. This is a third world.
Right. I always thought that too. Like this is like the lowest level of existing in the universe. Like,
Yeah, and I can feel the only reason that I can even be in something as yucky as this is to either destroy it. Well, yeah, I'm definitely here to destroy this shit. I don't see any reason for this going on. But at the same token, to shock it, to shock as send as many shock waves in here as possible to shock people into waking up.
yeah, we are sparks, light
Yeah.
beings, what they call light beings that are here to
Hmm.
facilitate. We are here to facilitate the intensification of this higher vibration that's coming upon us. Like, we are here to facilitate. That's what soul cycle alchemy was meant to do. And it's like crazy how it's synchronicity. It's not, it happened all spiritually. It's not something that was just based on human intelligence. All of what we do on this show it was synchronicity. It was spiritual. It was some spiritual activation thing going on. The soul activating, and because at the end of the day, that's just what the spirit is basically pushing me to do, is to
Yeah,
speak
that's what you
on.
came here with and you leaving here with.
Right. The spirit spoke is speaking through me. My higher spirit is speaking through me to speak to the general public and try to connect to their higher spirit with this knowledge, with these principles.
Yeah.
It's supposed to resonate, right? If it doesn't resonate, this is what I liked about what the brother said the other day. It's like Tosh Tariq said the other day. He was like, if it doesn't resonate with you, then it's okay. I
Yeah.
mean, if all you're saying is you're resonating more with the archons or the artificial, you're not resonating with your ancestors.
Yeah. Yeah. Really, you just, hey, you're pretty much exposing yourself.
Right. I mean, at the end of the day, where our divine energy and our the best interest as it pertains to our spiritual journey would be trying to commune back with our ancestors, or get in tune back with our ancestors, because our ancestors are us
Yeah,
in the
they are,
past. They are us in the past. That's
and
who
in
we
the
were,
future too. In
and
the
the future
future
too,
too,
because the past is
and
the
the present.
future. The
Yeah,
the
and
past
in
is
the
the future.
present, and in the
Right.
present. Yeah, we're never disconnected. There is no disconnection. There is no separation.
There's an
There's
illusion
only
of
the
it. Yeah, right.
illusion of separation.
Yes.
And when you
There's a
come to the realization of that in all aspects, in every aspect, no matter what, then I think there you can find some change, because then there you can free your mind from the pollution that they put on us to keep us from exploring, going into our God selves, because there are things here that attaches itself to us that keeps us from having that inner explosion
mm,
where, yeah, and so it keeps those chakras um from spinning and keep them inactive, keeping that heart chakra closed, and just polluting it, polluting it with archonic energy.
right. I think
Yeah,
that's one of the. I think that's one of the symbolism that we recognize. What I recognize when I look at the Jesus symbolism, mostly from the Latin communities, they show how he had the fire in his heart, spark in his heart. You know how you seen the
yeah.
picture of the fire of the
Oh
Jesus
yeah,
with the fire coming out of his heart, and then you see
yeah,
the fire coming out of his pineal glands.
yeah. The halo
Right.
or the
No,
light
I'm
around it.
saying literally. No, I'm not.
Literally.
The halo too is the halo was there too. But what I'm saying is
Oh,
they're giving you indication that his heart chakra is activated and his crown chakra is activated. If you ever seen that picture of the there's certain statues where his heart chakra, you see there's a depiction of a heart and it got a fire flame coming out of the top of it.
Yeah, but
And
I never
then
seen one where with there's something actually going on with here in the middle of the head.
yeah, they got the one where he got a fire coming out his head.
Oh, okay. Now
Yeah.
I love the Egyptian shit when you have the snake coming out the head.
Oh yeah, that's basically that's the
That's
indication too.
bad shit right there.
Yes, it is.
That's
Yes, it is.
yeah, the
Because
erased
they
crown.
basically they're expressing, and that's what I loved about the Egyptian is they would mimic they would mimic the spirit realm through expressions of art.
Yeah, because in certain empires they didn't have art like Rome. They just had scholastics and war. They didn't have art. But the Egyptians, they had art because
Right. High
that's
art, high
that's
culture.
the feminine.
This is why they got all of our ancestors artifacts
Hmm.
in their museums.
Yeah,
All our ancestors artifact. If
well,
you, it's a video that online, well, on Facebook, by Taj Tariq Bey, House of Reawakened Minds, and he recently did a show called uh, damn, corruption of the blood.
hmm
Right, that's illegal. That's actually a legal term to where what they're doing right now is they're corrupting our bloods by entering in to the bloodline through marrying one of our women, or also they corrupt the bloodline by
well, we did that. We did that hundreds of years ago. We allowed that. I mean, I think that kind of had to be kind of had to happen. The gene pool had to be cleaned out because the Great Mother didn't feel good about beings being down here that were soulless and that could not ascend. And
no.
something had.
I can get why. See, now I've never been against interracial, uh, because I already knew the baby would come out melanated, so I was
Yeah,
never against it.
yeah. So we had to do that. They had to we. I mean, we had to.
No, I thought that way too. I thought that too.
Yeah.
Like we had to
If
bring
we
them back
didn't,
into
then
the into the.
they just be all barbaric and hairy, barbaric, prehistoric looking creatures running around here
Mm,
shooting us and eating us. They'd be eating us out in public.
yeah, that is a real big part of their history. Go read a book called The Delectable Negro.
Well, shit, it wouldn't be no more Negroes if we weren't fucking.
Nah, that's what they get. That's what they get the idea of the zombie movies and all the movie Planet of the Apes and shit. That's where they got it from. The
Well, zombie
Neanderthals.
movies, they're talking about them eating us up, eating our
Yeah,
babies. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. These are both movies depicting their true nature and shit. Especially
yeah,
Planet of the Apes. When they came back and the apes were intelligent, they were those were the same apes that they were sending out in space as and
yeah.
they came back to Earth, and those apes
It
were
took
intelligent.
over. Took,
They took
which
the
is
fuck
what
over.
which is
Did
what
you
we
know?
did. Which is what we did. Well, it wasn't us. It was a different. You see, there's people down here that look like us that aren't us.
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
You
yeah,
remember
yeah.
you had Egypt and you had Babylon. Two different sets of gods and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they said the Babylonians were the ones that were responsible for these genetic experiences that shouldn't have been going on.
Right.
Yeah, they were the ones that created, Inky, Ea, and his brother, them two. They was the ones. Their little fashion did some fucked up shit through the Yakub priesthood, and we allowed it to happen. And so since we allowed it to happen, we had to suffer. And And so we had to raise them up and let them rule over us.
Right. Also, check out it's another recommendation called "The Smartest Beast in the Field." That's a documentary on YouTube that people need to check out. The Smartest Beast in the Field.
The Smartest Beast in the Field. I can imagine
Right.
what that's about.
It's deep, bro. Go watch because it's like I think it's like what 13 episodes of this shit, and the shit goes in basically. It goes really in on the genetic makeup of what we're calling the so-called white people.
Yeah,
it goes really deep into it, and the
recessive,
social impact of it.
You wouldn't call them recessive genes.
Yeah, they're recessive genetics.
Yeah, because they
and when you
cannot make
study what recessive genetics is, it's sick genetics. They're sick. They're genetically sick.
Now they say white people can't make black people. That's not necessarily true anymore. Because you got white people that are popping out white people that are really black people.
You talking about because what happens is what trumps the genetics. What trumps genetics is whatever the spiritual intent that kind of could trump genetics because on a spiritual level. On a spiritual level, that could be possible. What you're saying is like maybe these spirits are coming through these pale skin ones now, like as some type of spiritual revelation or some type of. It happens like that. We think that the spiritual realm operates on our human logic. No, it doesn't.
No, it don't. No,
you think it don't operate on some human logic.
You'd be disappointed if you go by that.
Yeah.
You'd be atheist.
Right. So yeah, I mean, you got any last word? I'm gonna cut it short.
Last words. Next week's gonna be a motherfucking week, man. It's gonna be a lot of shit going down next week.
Well, we can come back and talk all about it, bro.
Yeah, next week.
First on it, get on it, because like I said, I think this. I've been listening to the past couple of shows, and we've been really going in. It's like we've been tuning it, tapping in, bro, very much.
Yeah, we have, and that's
tapping
in. Yeah. Well, thanks to all of you that took the time out to spend Saturday night with us.
No doubt. And it is Saturday night. Most people are, and that's kind of probably why our audience is not as big as it, because Saturday night people out.
Yeah, they are. Oh yeah, they're out there partying up, doing it up, burning, doing. Man, I feel, man, all these people out there doing these donuts in the streets and just tearing it up. Man, how the fuck they doing that? And gas is like $20 a gallon.
Right. No, that's real, because they be doing that shit over at my house. I'm talking about like these people are obsessed with like loud cars too. I live like close to the bridge, right? Like that bridge that from the 110 freeway. And these people like to go up under there with them loud ass cars and make that echo sound. It's like they little children and shit, and they got a toy, and that's what they call it. Their cars is like a toy. They just they old children now. They older
that's
children.
Why they getting phased out with these electric cars. They all that shit's getting phased out.
I can't wait too. I can't wait because I don't understand how somebody can want to roll down the street with all that damn noise going on. Like, some people design their car so their muffler can make all that sound. I don't
get it. Headers. They put a header in there and they'll have that rip.
Right. And I'm like, no, that's it. I want to everywhere I'm going, I want to go stealth, man. I don't want people to hear me coming.
Yeah. Well, if you're electric, yeah, you're gonna do that. That's where we're headed now. Some idiot was talking about an electric tank. Where in the fuck you gonna charge a goddamn tank in battle?
Oh, did you hear about that brother who actually came up with a motor or something that he can basically he came up with a motor where he can generate energy. Well, basically he actually had a TV set that he had off this technology and he didn't have it plugged on. He was on news and everything, bro. He was on the news and everything. And I don't know what the updates on what happened to him and everything. 9 times out of 10, they got that boy because it's like,
well, he signed something, or he worked for somebody.
Oh, so you know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't know, but I'm just thinking like the only way if you're coming up with something that goes against the grain, that that's going to free humanity.
Yeah, most of the time they either sign away the technology or they die. They either dead.
Yeah, they end up dead.
Right. But he's not the first one. There was also a dude who came up with a generator that runs off water.
Man, save that for the afterlife. Save those thoughts for the afterlife in the next universe, because in this one, shit, you're gonna die. You're gonna die. You're going against this in this world. We're supposed to take this shit back, but the powers that be, they want to control every aspect of existence down here. They want to be in control of every aspect of existence, and they want to charge us for every aspect of our existence. Okay,
right.
If it was up to them, they'll charge us every time we shit. They'll charge us for every breath we breathe.
I mean, you actually are getting charged. You actually are getting charged every time you take a shit. Every time you flush the toilet, that's water. That's the water bill. That's on the water bill.
Well, you had to buy the food that you ate to be able to shit out anyway, too.
You remember the part in Doctor Strange movie where they went to the dimension where everything was free?
Yeah. Yeah.
That shit was dope. But they were just basically compounding the notion that I have for years. And I know, I mean, I get a lot of argument from people. I was like, when I thought I was coming up, I was like, what if everything was free? Why everything ain't free? People would get mad at me like, nigga, why would you want it to be free? I'm like, why would you not want it to be free?
Yeah, really. Why would you? Yeah.
Like everything should be free. I should be able to walk on a car lot right now and get the latest electric car on the market right now. Free.
Well,
just hop in that
there should be. Well, there should be. They should already be public for everyone.
Listen, brother, they already paid for.
Yeah.
Everything that comes to this country, it's already paid for. It's already paid for. It's just the fact that when the government basically is charging you for stuff that it already belongs to you, like when they do with a lake. What they do with a lake, when they would lock down a lake, the local government will say you can't fish in this lake. You can't fish in this lake, or they regulate it and say you can only take a certain amount of fish out of this lake. Yeah, well, guess what? My ancestors have been fishing in this lake. My ancestors have been fishing in this lake before y'all came about, so that don't apply to me.
Yeah,
that's the argument you can use for them trying to charge you for everything that's basically yours from the jump. Now, as it pertains to the vehicle that I spoke on, right? Where did the material come from to make this vehicle? If anything in that vehicle came from nature, it belongs to me.
Yeah, it belongs to us.
It belongs to us.
Yeah.
All of all of nature, all of the earth, we got dominion over.
Yeah. Yes, you have a point there. And they don't.
They don't. They really
They
don't.
don't. They
Hell
don't.
no.
What y'all doing here?
Exactly.
Y'all don't have no birthrights here.
Nope.
No, unless you stole somebody's. Who birthright you stole? Who that belong to?
Yeah.
Who
Exactly.
you? Who you people? Who are you people down here on this land? Y'all know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, those are good questions to ask these motherfuckers too, because
yeah,
you know
who
what
gave
I'm saying?
you power and authority? You're not an
Right.
ancient race. You don't have
No,
no
but
ancestors.
if they will really be honest about it, they were never given authority. They were just given custodial powers over something. They were just giving say, like, I give somebody, hold this for me, man. Hold that for me. I give it to you. I say, hold it for me. Take care of it for me. I come back, you claimed it for your own and already used it up and shit. That's what happened.
Or better yet, they're just a front. They're just a white face they put out there. And it's really a black faces that is running this shit.
Wow.
Remember
You said that before, and that shit blew my motherfucking mind because I couldn't do nothing but agree. That's really, I think that's what's going on. Oh my God. You said that before. I was like, bah, boom. That's exactly what's going on.
Yeah,
Exactly.
the white faces are just put there.
Yeah, they're front. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
But it's really black
the elitists are melanated people.
Yeah.
The elitists, the ones who doing this, who enslaving humanity, they are melanated people.
Yeah, but they
These are
on the
melanated
other
entities.
But they're from Babylon though. They're not from Egypt. They're from Babylon.
Yeah, they vibrating on some other cosmic energy that's contrary.
They're on another side of the Anunnaki.
Right. Well, I haven't. I can do nothing but agree, bro. I've thought of that before myself because I was like, the Europeans are too fragile. They're too fragile. They're too inferior to us to even be in that position. No, it has to be. It has to be someone with some equal amount of. Yes, they got to be. Yeah, you're right.
There's some super smart niggas that are behind this shit and put these white pale faces there as a joke to keep us real.
No, but when you look at the Yakub story, that kind of confirms it.
Yeah,
because Yakub was the big head scientist, but he was melanated though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he wasn't one of us. He wasn't one of us. He looked like us, but he wasn't one of us.
Right.
But we ended up paying for it. We paid though. Our hands are clean now. They hands ain't.
Damn. Good point. But with that, I gotta go, bro.
Okay, man.
All right. Peace, chaos, peace.
Same here. All right, next week.